prepared.
Saws are ready.
Yeah.
Here we go. We'll listen in. Turn up that
it's
audio.
All happening now, guys.
So this is the city Christmas tree coming down in Washington Heights this morning, being harvested there. And it's going to be given a police escort, as Adriana mentioned, all the way over to the Deer District, which is new this year, where they'll put up the tree and decorate it for the holiday season. This is always a fun time, though, in the city of Milwaukee, but it can be precarious. We showed that video earlier that things can go wrong. So fingers are crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed this morning. And we even heard the backstory, right, from the man who actually planted this tree. About 30 years ago, we heard Mayor Cavalier Johnson talk about his backstory because he spoke with him this morning. And just about, I think he said his father was into forestry and all that. So background, and he served in the city for a while, was also a firefighter. So it's just really cool. And we also heard from him sometime this morning, Elaine there, speaking with him this morning at his house there. So yeah, a lot of people probably in that neighborhood listening, right, to everything going on, but also sitting here watching as well as we are this morning.
Yeah, and it's something that, uniquely sort of brings the city together. Oh, there it is. It's up. It is up, so it's being taken up by the crane, and there's a truck on the street there. As we widen out the shot, you'll be able to see just how this is going to work.
How large that tree is.
And although, we think he planted it in the 70s or something like that.
Yes, because he said about 30 years ago or so.
Yeah, well, 50 years ago.
Has to be a sweet. Well, he said, didn't he say 30?
I don't know.
Well, 30 to 50. Let's just say the range.
I was just trying to think, like, even 50 years, this thing looks like it's bigger. It should be bigger. It should be more older, I guess.
I know, but also just to think about however long it was. Just think about the moment, for him, what this feels like.
Seed.
Yep. And now he's seeing it and knows that how many other people are going to sit here and watch his seed as well. So.
Yeah, this is in the Washington Park, Washington Heights neighborhood. And so now this is the time where things get tricky, when they have to bend it or sort of like turn it sideways. Yeah, it's kind of floating. And then they put it on to the truck. And then it'll take its trip to downtown. But obviously not too far of a trip.
Yeah.
Always a fun one, though, with the police escort. And it's got to be neat to see, even if it's not your tree, like the man that we talked to this morning, but if you go and you talk to the neighbors, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to go visit it down there in the Deer District. It's a good idea. So here it goes, going down onto the trailer. Oh, they've got like the braces there to lay it onto.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful with this process. I imagine it takes a lot of hands as well.
And then you got to decorate this whole thing once you get it there, and that's not easy either. It's hard to tell in the shot, but this thing's got to be at least 30 feet tall, probably. Something like that. And they're going to decorate it again in the Deer District this year.
I wonder, Elaine, can you hear us?
Spirit.
Okay. I was wondering just to see if there were.
Simone, can you say that again for me?
Yeah, no,
sorry,
we were just wondering if you
noisy out here.
No, it's okay. We were just wondering if you can hear us, because I was wondering if there's maybe a crowd out there, possibly, of just people watching this.
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit earlier that we had talked to a couple neighbors, and as you can imagine, this is literally in the middle of Irwin's house. Is pretty much in the middle of this street. So there's people from houses on different sides, neighbors. Bongo's here. I don't know if you saw him a little earlier. But it's really nice. It's almost like the community, they've seen this tree growing for, one neighbor told me that he moved in the year that it was planted. So they've seen it become this gorgeous tree, and to see it being donated, you can tell everyone's really supportive of him, and it's been a really nice way to start the day to see everyone out here.
Getting the holiday spirit.
And I think, I guarantee there's people that have been out here doing this with the city for years, with the forestry department and everything, and this is that part right now where they're like, please don't break the tree, don't break the tree.
Careful.
Set it down nicely. I'm sure they learned some lessons from 2008, but nevertheless, it's still nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for all these folks as they do this.
It was funny right before the tree was moved. Tom, you kind of said this kind of precarious moment. It felt like everyone took a deep breath. It was it's everyone's like, right now you can kind of see Kyle's got the shot where you can kind of see where it is.
Yeah.
They're about to lay it down, but yeah, that initial lift, we all kind of took a deep breath. So far so good. So far so good. But
all right. Well,
we'll keep it. We'll wait.
We'll let you
keep an eye
monitor
on
it out there and, get back to you should anything develop. But at this point, there it goes. From Washington Park to the Deer District with the police escort here coming up in the next couple of hours. It's 6:43 here on TMJ4 News Today. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.